Hello everybody, this is Lady Kaylah here and welcome to the Geekdom. Today I'm going to do a lit talk on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and this novel I want to do more of a lit talk than a book review because it's a classic and people keep delving into this novel and exploring it so much, and I think that's really what makes classics transcend throughout time. It's just something about it that creates more questions than answers and allows people to explore on such a deep level, and so that's why I'm doing more of a lit talk than a book review. So anyways, Mary Shelley is the mother of sci-fi. Here we have like the first science fiction. I'm sure you could go back and find others. I think there is another science fiction before Mary Shelley who it's questionable whether it's a sci-fi, but it was also written by a woman, so rad. But anyway, I like how the novel doesn't really go into how the creature is created other than Victor's study of death is how he finds out how to create life, which was really interesting. But all that stuff that you see in other interpretations with like lightning and contraptions and whatever, it's not really written about. That's someone's artistic representation of how the creature is created. So I highly recommend it. If you like other adaptations of Frankenstein, I really think you'll enjoy the novel. No one's really come 100% close to really what's happened or what's happening in the novel. Obviously everyone has their own interpretation. Also, some people took it and went like super crazy with it. Other people have tried to stay a little bit close, but everyone's gonna have their own take. So I do highly recommend it, especially if you like interpretations that are closer to the novel. Anyways, we have a completely new genre being created here, and it's really awesome to read, to see just the emergence of a new genre, and so I definitely would add it to your list. But if you haven't read the novel, there are going to be spoilers here in this video, and I think I'm going to focus more on the question that people go to the most when they think Frankenstein, which is who is the monster, who is the man. And if you guys have any other questions about the novel that you want me to explore, just leave them in the comments below, and I will either talk to you about that in the comments, or I will do another video depending on how in-depth the question is. So there's so much to explore in this novel, so feel free to ask away. But yeah, so let's do the who is the monster, who is the man kind of a thing. And before that, I'm going to just talk quickly about Victor, who creates this monster, or creates his creation. Calling him a monster is kind of biased. But he makes this creation and completely just leaves it on its own to do whatever it wants. He doesn't know what this creature is going to do, but he's so scared of it that he's just like, nope, not going to deal with it. Bye. And the creature actually goes through this exploration and goes from being benevolent to malevolent because of the way he's treated by mankind for being another. He's literally another thing. He's not natural. And everything about his existence is just what he knows since his birth from Victor till onward. And so we have these two main characters. Yes, there's a third frame in here, but we're not going to get into that character because that's not the question we're exploring. It just brings up who is the monster, who is the man. And so I think we should look at the creature and decide if that creature is human or not. So this creature doesn't just go around ignorantly exploring the world. First, there are very human aspects about him. He learns how to control fire. He finds clothing and puts it on. He finds food and cooks it. Things that humans do as opposed to beasts. And so I'm of the opinion, and here's the thing when exploring literature is, like I mentioned earlier, there's more questions than answers, so when you're exploring it, you're going to come up with different interpretations. So by all means, come up with your own. This is just mine. So I'm of the opinion that the creature actually is a representation of humanity and of the human condition. I think the creature qualifies as human. And so even though like there's so much unnatural about him, he didn't have a natural birth. There was no mother, father, there was no you know, actual vaginal birth. There was nothing like that for the creature. Everything was unnatural. Also, you know, the motivations for the creature becoming alive, the science behind the creature's creation was death. Victor found out how to create life by studying death. So it's really, really interesting. The creature tries to come into humanity, our society, after he has these very human steps, the fire, the clothing, the stuff like that. After he does all that, that's when he tries to integrate himself into society. And normally, when we're young and we learn how to eat and how to speak and how to do all that, that's when we try to emerge into society and be accepted into it. But this creature is immediately rejected, despite doing no wrong, despite, you know, trying to or taking on human qualities. Just immediate rejection and violence even is the first exposure he has to humanity. And even after that, he reaches out with kindness, and then it's only after constant rejection and loneliness comes this evil. And even he says it's evil, and he says all that he's done is out of revenge, and just it's bad. Even he acknowledges it as bad. And so we have Victor, who creates him, doesn't take responsibility, and even after he is aware that the creature has done wrong, still doesn't take responsibility, still doesn't take action. And Victor's given many opportunities to do different things for this creature. I mean, he could reason with him and give the creature what he wants, and the creature will hopefully do what he says. He could kill the creature and end the creature's life and the evil that it's wrought. He could bring the creature into society and try to have the creature be part of humanity. Victor does absolutely none of these things. Victor doesn't know what he wants to do. Victor just constantly just rejects the creature and doesn't take responsibility, even though he is the creator. So it becomes really kind of hard to figure out who's the monster and who's the man, because you have the creature doing terrible things to Victor, but you also have Victor who's completely doing nothing to stop it, and who has this God complex even because he's created life, yet at the same time is completely overwhelmed. So who knows? And I don't think there necessarily is a right or wrong answer, but with my exploration, I'm thinking that the point is to explore what does it mean to be human. I think that that's a fundamental question to ask when exploring this book or novel. And it's just, I'm of the belief a lot of people sympathize with the monster, especially since we get that, you know, that the monster wasn't evil. The monster wasn't created as bad. So you sympathize with him, and because we're human and we know what it's like to have good intentions, and then when somebody does something bad to you, or when somebody hurts you and you don't know why and you don't understand it, your first reaction is that's not fair. You get angry, and sometimes you even get vengeful. So we completely understand that creature. However, that creature murders innocent people out of this revenge, and that's something I can't justify. And then you have Victor, who a lot of people don't really sympathize with. So we hear a lot of more people saying the monster is the man and Victor is the monster. I disagree. I think what's being presented here is that everything that has consciousness and is capable of right and wrong has this monster inside them. That doesn't matter how you present yourself or how you look on the outside or anything like that. You are capable of monstrosity. You are capable of just doing terrible, evil things. And we all have that inside of us. We all are the monster. We all are Victor. How many times have we escaped responsibility because we're scared, or we're too proud, or our ego's too big? How many have done evil because you're hurt and you've been rejected, and all you want is a place amongst your peers? Just how many times has it happened? And so I think both Victor and the monster are supposed to reflect us as humans. And so my take is they're both men, and the thing about men is we're monsters. And it's just this battle of ego that we have. And the third character that I mentioned and kind of brushed off earlier is someone who's following his ego, and that's why he's getting this story. He's getting a warning like, hey, you know, don't let your ego get to the point where you lose yourself and become a monster. So I don't know, that's my interpretation of the novel, or just one aspect of the novel that I interpreted. There's tons there, just tons. It's a great novel to explore. And so that's my take. I'm done with that exploration for now. I'm sure I could go even deeper into it, bring in textual examples, but I'm not, at least not right now. And so if you guys have any more questions, just ask them, and I'll try to explore those as best as I can too. So thank you for your time. Bye.